The man just didn't answer his mom's call before he jumped off the building. But the goddess of death threw him back to Earth so that he can experience the pain of 12 dying people before they die. If he survives the 12 dying people, he would be able to live on in his original body. He thought he could use his memories to make a big difference, but in his first life, he was reborn in the body of an extreme skydiver. What made him even more desperate was that he was in the sky without a parachute. Just when he didn't know what to do, a dazzling memory crystal suddenly flew towards him. It turns out that the host of this body has always been a fan of extreme sports. He always likes to seek thrills and breakthroughs. He's even held 10 world records in extreme sports. At this moment, his challenge is to fall from 10,000 meters without a parachute, as long as he lands safely on the ground in a designated position. He will not only break the world record again, he will also receive a prize of $5 billion. At this moment, the national media is reporting in real time, expecting the birth of a legend, A's. Soon as Kui thought of landing on the ground, he would get $5 billion. He instantly concentrated his energy and fully utilized his skills. He swooped down to the designated spot, on the ground. I didn't expect to end up in a box on the ground. The audience's hearts were almost cold. Seeing the $5 billion of prize money disappeared, Choi's heart was very sad. He begged the Grim Reaper to give him another chance. He would definitely succeed next time. However, the Grim Reaper smiled contemptuously because he had already used his first chance. Then the Grim Reaper raised his pistol, and without hesitation, he pulled the trigger. When Choi opened his eyes again, he realized that he was reborn in the body of a baby. I thought that in this life he could be as small as a baby, did not expect the reality to give him a blow to the head stand up from the people. Seeing his mom go crazy, Xiao Kui instantly felt that something was wrong. Sure enough, when he got home, Mom threw him hard on the couch. Luckily, his dad seemed like a good guy, but he soon realized that he had been wrong. Amos heard the door slam. Dad wiped his mouth clean, and Mom kept using freshener to get rid of the smell of smoke in the house. It turns out the police received a report from a neighbor that they were abusing his head, so they brought in a child protection specialist to check it out. When he heard this, the man took out his business card. Turns out he used to work at a children's home. After seeing that the child had no injuries, the police didn't think they were abusers, so they were ready to leave, seeing that the rescuers were about to leave. Xiao Kui immediately began to cry, but that didn't help. As the door closed, Mom suddenly rushed over like a madwoman. You can't afford to be so mean to her. You're a pain in the ass. Don't you dare make money. Then she threw him to the floor. Then he grabbed a pillow and pressed it to his face. When Choi opened his eyes, he has returned to the people again. Choi angrily told the Grim Reaper how could there be such parents in the world. But the Grim Reaper said that there's no such thing as a rightful parent. The Grim Reaper asked him to recall the scene when he jumped from the building and said that he did have a choice at that time. But as a child, he didn't have the right to choose whether to live or die. After that, the Grim Reaper picked up the gun and pulled the trigger without hesitation. When Choi regained consciousness again, he realized that this time he had become the second son of a family that had only punished him. The second son was taking a private jet to a meeting abroad, however. Before he could be happy for a few minutes, the plane plunged into the mist. This made him realize that he was going to die soon. So he fastened his seatbelt and put the airbag on himself. But after 5 minutes, the plane miraculously stabilized. Diddy. Turned out that the plane just flew into a thundercloud and had a bumpy ride. Then Kui went to the restroom after seeing all the top-quality wines and luxury goods. He immediately exclaimed that this is the kind of life that rich people should enjoy. But just as he was looking forward to the future, one of the plane's engines suddenly exploded. Then the plane began to fall, rapidly. Terrified, Kui tried his best to return to his seat and fasten his seatbelt. The flight attendant tried to calm him down. But the next moment, a big hole was torn in the fuselage. The flight attendant was sucked out on the spot, and then the plane exploded, burning him to ashes. When Choi woke up again, he was in the underworld. Everything that happened just now seemed like a nightmare, looking at Choi's desperate and helpless face. The Grim Reaper couldn't hold back his laughter. He said he'd give him a simpler one next time. When Choi was reborn, on Earth again, he realized that he had become a high school student. At first, he wanted to relive his high school life, but then